T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978 reviewing Transformers Binaltech Hound. Hound is a Jeep Wrangler. Hound is BT04. Hound is part of the 20th anniversary of Transformers. Hound is an official Jeep Wrangler. He's an official Jeep product. Here are Hound's product shots, or product markings, and whatnot. You'll see most of that in my review. And I want to say this before I go into anything. I paid a crazy amount for this toy back in the day. Binaltech is the reason why third-party developers know and realize they can charge whatever the heck they want to charge for their figures, and we're going to buy it. And also, it's the reason why Takara themselves realized that they can charge whatever they want, and we're going to buy it. Back when Binaltech came out, alternators were $20, which was amazing considering you couldn't get a Binaltech figure for less than $60 back in the day. Like, the price difference was just amazing. I know these had die-cast and alternators didn't, but they looked basically the same, and they almost felt the same. And die-cast doesn't cost that much. I mean, you can get a die-cast car for the cheap. Anyway, let me get him out of this box. All the Binaltech figures came in this little bubble right here that had extra inside packaging. Let's get him out of there. And the other inner packaging doubled as a display base. So you could put your toy right there if you wanted to. Packaged underneath of that little display base was a collector's card, which had like bio and whatnot in Japanese, and probably tech spec, but I'm not sure. No, I don't think any tech specs were in there. But it also came with this detailed instruction manual. Binaltech, for all intents and purposes, was Takara's Masterpiece figures to go along with Masterpiece Optimus Prime that originally came out. You get some good product details right there, and then the transformation and whatnot. And I believe it's more bio in there, and bio back here showing you the prototype images and whatnot, and the fictional pictures down there, and they were really great. As much as I hated paying that price for Hound, oh my god, look how buttery smooth that is. And quiet because of the rubber tires. And they are nice and thick. And they haven't cracked. This toy is like freaking over 10 years old. And these tires are nice. Let's zoom in on it. Cybertronian radials. And the die-cast. The die-cast gives this thing such weight. It's just so awesome. Like, damn near the whole front of this car is die-cast. The doors are die-cast, or at least have die-cast plating on the front right there. Unless I'm wrong, but these always felt like die-cast. The hood is die-cast. All of this front frame, including the side black panels right here, that's die-cast. You might be able to see some of the scuffing and see the metal flaked off right there, and you can see the metal die-cast underneath. But as you can see, this is a superbly detailed Jeep Wrangler. I mean, it's awesome. Look at the gas cap back there, the Jeep logo back there, the lights, transparent lights, detailed interior. Let me try to zoom in on that right there. Steering wheel, open it right here. Like, very, very, very cool. Reflective side view mirrors. When you open the hood, you can see the engine detail right there. One thing that sucks about this toy is you open the hood, this lifts up because it's on a separate piece, but it doesn't come back down. You have to shut it and then push that down, which is unfortunate. The seats move, the front seats, the rear seats, they move forward and they move backwards a little bit due to transformation and just the seat moving gimmick. This opens, but it opens like that. So you might have to fiddle with this if you can't get to it. And this other car feature, he doesn't have the steering gimmick that all the other cars have, but he has suspension, which has always been awesome. So this is definitely an Binaltech figure I kept in vehicle mode. Before transforming this guy, there's that detailing right there. And this is what he looks like on the bottom. So, yeah. Very nice Jeep mode. I love it. Transformation. Here's one of the most easiest out of all of Binaltech and alternators figures. First thing you might want to do is push these foot stands right here down. Get them out of the way. Where to go next? Let's see. I usually like starting on the back. So, unpeg these. And there's a piece of metal right there. Actually, I forgot. This bar right here is die-cast metal. Lift this out of the way right there. I believe. Fold. And which way? These this way. You can go ahead and unpeg the feet back here. Open the doors, get them out of the way. This unpegged while I was doing that. You need to unpeg on the other side. Just hinge them outward that way for now. Bring that down. Go ahead and peg this here. Bring this foot stand this way. And bring that one that way. Turn it this way. Now, go ahead and, this is kind of tricky. Rotate, well not tricky, but rotate this way and sort of like some of the Combiner Wars figures. Hinge that forward, or it just makes me think of the Combiner Wars figures. Push this up like that. Continue rotating that. Now, accordion this part of his foot down that way. And rotate this toe around. Same stuff over here, except one more step. Rotate this tie right there and bring it over to the side. Well, actually, this does like to pop off. Bend it, keep it like that. We'll basically do the same stuff over here. Stretch this knee out, rotate this, put the foot down here, and rotate that. Move these wheels down. And before you can actually spin his waist around, you have to go ahead and open his hood, rotate this Autobot symbol, push up under here, get these arms out. His whole arm and shoulder comes out. Move the hand down. Move the arm down, move the hand down. Take the head, pull it out of this cavity. His head is typically upside down to get out of the way. I feel like, what am I not doing right? I don't know why. Well, I could twist it that way. Now twist it up like that. Bring this hood, maneuvering his head up. Put the head like that. Now we detach that. Bring this, or move these back out of the way because they came back. Move these up, move these up, move this down, position that like that. You can either leave his doors open or push them back like that if you want. I usually push it back like that. Rotate this waist around. And move these wheels back here some more. And now you have Hound, Binaltech Hound, in his robot mode. And he looks very, very nice. This shade of green they gave him is awesome. Now where he suffers, if you look at it, is when you go like that. Big gaping hole right there. And even on the package art, you can see that there's nothing there, which is kind of weird. And as much as I loved his legs, it's like he had some good legs out of all the Binaltech alternators figures. The head, because of the way the joint is, it can look up, but now you can see up under there, which is awkward. He can rotate. They were able to give him some good neck rotation, if you can call it neck rotation. These wheels bump all up into this kibble back here. And he has a ton of kibble. It's like they didn't know what to do with this. That just hangs off. So it's best to just look at this dude from the front and keep it like that. My other gripe that I have with this figure, the shoulders. I mean, he has 360 rotation and he has ball joints. And I don't know how this has been tight for years. He has some wiggle right there because this is on a ball joint. But outward motion suffers. He's a lot like X-Transbot's Apollyon. He could have really used some bicep swivel. They didn't give him that. If he had bicep swivel, posing him would have been good. But because of this engine part on the back of his arm, I guess that hinders and stops things. But he does have wrist rotation that can go up, but that's not how a wrist works. Fingers come out, index finger comes out, and the thumb doesn't do anything. Hips are on a ball joint. He has knees, and if you want to act like it, he does have some double jointed knee action right there, but of course it breaks the aesthetic right there. The foot, he has nice ankle pivot, and his foot can actually tilt forward and do that, so his legs can get into some good poses. Just these arms suffer a lot. If you want the alternators version instead of this guy, because I used to have the alternators version, I did eventually get that one in a trade. It was completely 100% identical to this. Same exact green, even though it was all plastic. I believe that green must have been painted because it was completely identical. Now, of course, this one was slightly more heavy because of the die cast, and all of this under here is die cast as well. But there's one more thing for me to show you. This spare tire right here. How do I do this? No. You gotta grab right here. It unfolds, and then he gets a tiny, tiny hidden pistol. I believe he's like one of the only figures that has a gun that doesn't become an engine. But he has a tiny, tiny pistol. And he was one of the more beefy, thicker bots. So this tiny, tiny pistol was like, ugh. So here he is wielding that, which looks kind of silly. And he can't hold his arm out a certain type of way. So getting him into a good pose, holding that gun, just always has been awkward. So I mostly just kind of did some things like, oh boy. Ball joints. I usually stood him like this or something like that. If you want this guy for your masterpiece figures, yeah, no. He doesn't fit in with them. He is way too big to me. He should be a little bit short because Hound wasn't all that tall. And he towers over them. Let me try to lower this some. And Sideswipe looks a little skinny and small in comparison. So, let me bring in a Seeker, because this mold was out around the same time as Binaltech. And yeah, this is how big the Seeker mold would be to a Binaltech alternators figure. I mean, people lived with this back in the day, but now we have alternatives. Close up on the face sculpt, and yeah, that's kind of outdated too. Let me try to turn the light away from his face. See if you can almost see that better. Let's see. Yeah, there's the head. Here's the back of his head. But yeah, all in all, I like this figure. He's a good alternators Binaltech figure, but could have better arms. Just like every single time I review one of these guys, you're going to hear some type of complaining, because they all had some type of downfall or some type of trade-off. They'll be good in one area, but horrendous in other areas, and some of them were just completely horrendous. But this one was not one of the worst. And like I said, I love the weight and feel of him. Actually feeling it in my hand made me feel better about my purchase back in the day. So, if you wanna... But I do have to say, if you want to collect these guys, the alternators version was exactly the same. So get the alternators one, especially if it's cheaper than the Binaltech. But I believe all of these aren't that expensive anymore. So do whatever you want. If you want that metal, get this guy. If you don't care about the metal, get the alternators version. Anyway, this has been T-Man978. And now I'm out of here.